to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
This is the first time that I've had someone in the studio, which is so exciting. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen anyone in the past 3 months.
What is human?
So I think we're good. Yeah. I don't think we're going to pass anything to each other.
I highly doubt it. I have been the most safe person. I have been the most
it's been crazy.
I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah, get away from me. Hand sanitizer, mask. Yeah. And I think that's why New York, hopefully we are flattening that curve, but I think a lot of people are wearing masks and being responsible.
They are.
So it is good to be back to see that. But it's so funny. I don't know if funny is the right word. You moved to New York right at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is very interesting. Yes. And we should talk about that. But you're also such a talented photographer, compositor. How do you even describe yourself?
Man, I'm just a creative. Anything someone gives to me, I try to accomplish it.
I love it.
I'm just a go-getter. And to be real.
Where did it start? Because I want to talk about how we met, which is really fun. But what was that first camera? How did you start shooting pictures? How did you start in Photoshop? I mean, you do a lot of cool creative things. Where did that begin?
Yeah, hype me up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I have been a designer since I was like 9 or 10 years old. I owned my first website when I was 12.
What was the URL?
It was called Jazzy Girl. And it makes no sense at this point. So let me tell you the reason behind that name. So at the point, there was someone who owned this web space, and there was a community forum on there that I really liked. And I begged my parents to buy this forum from this person. So I bought this website with the forum on there, and then I built my own website around the forum with like tutorials and free graphics.
Entrepreneur on our hands.
When I was in sixth grade, I was doing this.
So were you a part of that forum and you said, oh, there's something here? I want a bigger part of it. And that's what just felt like. And they were like, oh, we want to sell it. We don't want to host it anymore. I was like, I'll buy it. And I'm like 12 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, what did your parents say to that?
It was I had to beg them for the money, and they really didn't understand what I was doing, but they were really supportive. My dad has always been my parents are divorced. My mom lived in Chicago, and I was living with my dad and my stepmom at the time. And my dad I remember he came home with a computer one day that had Photoshop and Illustrator on it and everything.
Game over.
And my stepmom was really, really into tech too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And they just were, I was just obsessed with being on the internet. So they were, I think they were truly such a huge part of even why I'm today.
Man, that is so cool. So how did that forum evolve?
I probably blocked it out of my mind because I don't remember anything that happened. All I remember is the next few years of eventually when I was selling MySpace layouts for McDonald's cheeseburgers at lunch. So entrepreneur stuff. All the way.
I remember when people had Tumblrs and MySpaces, you thought that you were this fancy programmer. You were copying, pasting HTML.
Nice.
Hello. Ooh. I
was out here slanging HTML.
Yes. And that's honestly, that was one of the inspos for me being like, oh, maybe I should try computer science as a college thing. But then you get really into it and you discover it's pretty difficult.
This is scary. If you put a code thing somewhere wrong, the whole entire thing is destroyed.
Game over. Yeah, you got to have a passion for it to make it your entire job. Yeah. But that's so funny. And then what attracted you to photography? What was that? What was your first camera ever?
I have I think it was probably a little point and shoot thing that I used to put pictures of myself on MySpace, to be honest with you. I remember I would set up the little point and shoot on my desk or something, and I'd have a timer on it, and I'd be modeling or whatever. I always dreamed of being on America's Next Top Model too. I tried out one year.
I love that show so much. You tried out?
I tried out 1 year. Well, people are starting to say it's a little problematic. The more you watch it back, you're like, oh my God, what were they saying? Tyra was saying some horrible things.
Really?
I didn't realize. We had no idea at the time. It's entertainment. What are you gonna say? So, but I tried out for that season where they had the shorter girls, where they're you can be 5'9" and under and try out. I'm like, God forbid I'm short. Jesus. So
I guess a lot of that show was picking out the flaws of these already beautiful women. So I can see that.
Craziness. So, that was my first kind of interest in photography, but it wasn't until Instagram in 2012, or no, not 2012, but 2010 when I kind of signed up for Instagram, but I was just posting like selfies and like pictures of my food, really nothing creative at all.
That's what we were all doing.
That's
what Instagram was for.
Just hanging out.
I have 10 likes on a picture of my lunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I barely got 2 probably. I mean, I don't even think I had any followers. I would just post all the time. And then I just eventually found this community of like iPhone photographers like Cole Rise and like a bunch of different people who were just so creative with their phones. And me being this like college dropout at the time who had absolutely nothing to my name. I had no job, no like computer, no camera that would suffice. I didn't have a point and shoot. I don't know where any of my stuff was at the time. I was like homeless pretty much because I was staying at like friends' houses. I could have went home, it was whatever, but I just wanted to be like out and about, whatever. And I kind of felt like I knew my own way, but really didn't. I had to learn and live. But, you know, through that, I had my iPhone. I had a broken iPhone 4 that could shoot and had a platform with Instagram, you know, and I had these free apps where I could create stuff with my phone. And so that's what I did consistently. And then now I'm a photographer. But I mean, it was really just this creative outlet from that past that I had with design and like just internet love. You know, it grew into something that it is today.
Yeah. And boy, has it blossomed.
It's blossomed.
The first time that we ever met actually wasn't, you know, we're all doing our own things. You're doing amazing things on Instagram. You do a lot of the cool, what would you call it? Compositing, or how would you describe? Okay. So where you bring in some real world and bring in some fantasy and you have your giraffe and you have your waterfalls, and it's so cool. I challenge everyone to follow her on Instagram. It's just Swopes, right?
Yeah, Swopes.
Okay. At Swopes. And we met during this Adobe thing called Make It on Mobile. And this was, keep in mind, this was before, at least for me, I had any influence online. This was the year where I was really trying to like weasel my way in with the Adobe folks for the residency.
You're killing it too.
Because I had like 3,000 YouTube subscribers. I had just learned of the residency and I did one gig with him for like $250. I made a recap video of one of their events. And so I did well on that. And they said, hey, there's this other thing in New York called Make It on Mobile. We'd love to have a recap video of it if you want to do it. It's like, oh, New York. Of course, this is so exciting. And that's where I met you, and I met a lot of other really great designers, and it was you guys in a room. And was it a competition, or was it explain like, to me? I kind of forget.
We had like competitions a little bit, but I think it was more like group work where we would collaborate with like a different kind of person who like did completely different design work than us. So there were some like illustrators, there were some like type
it was
people.
Like it was pairs, right?
Yeah, pairs. And then I think we would like share them at the end, like as like a presentation.
So they had these huge printers, and they basically printed out the really cool graphical thing that they made together, and they stand up, they would stand up in front of everyone. And I was like, I was the person in the shadows, like filming all this. These people were like, who is this chick who's talking to him? I was like going around interviewing people. Yeah, but I don't remember how people won. Did you vote and stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But what's so crazy is that was in 2015.
Well, you know what I remember most about that was that Prince died when we were there. I remember that.
I usually don't.
We were like eating outside. I remember like somewhere at this like museum or something. And I remember we were all sitting at lunch and they were like, oh, Prince died. And everyone was like,
gosh.
Yeah. So that's what I remember specifically about that.
Wow. I remember eating at the museum because they put you guys in the back of like this back room of a museum. I don't even remember what the museum was. But I love these moments where you cross paths with someone and then 3 years later we're both killing it. And then now you're in New York.
I know.
And I'm like, what a fun world. But you moved here in what month?
Mid-March.
And that's when
everything shut down.
They
were like, we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen, and others.
So you have been a part of the Chicago creative community for a long time and like conquered it. Awesome. Why New York?
I like a challenge.
Yeah.
I'm a challenge-driven person. I also am, I love Chicago, but and not to say there's a ceiling whatsoever. There was so much more I could do there, but I know everybody a little bit, and I'm so comfortable with them, and I'm like, I see y'all all the time, so let me go over here where I don't know anybody real quick. I also love New York. I think that they always say the energy of it all. But I mean, the energy is obviously a ton different right now.
When you talk about getting uncomfortable, welcome to the biggest city in the world that is now the epicenter of a pandemic. So how have you been handling?
I honestly, there were a few days, maybe like 1 or 2 in the few months that I would like just cry. I was like, I made a huge mistake. I should not be here. I should be at home, comfortable in my apartment with my sunrise pictures that I did every day. Like, I think that was like human of me, and it was necessary. But also, I think too, I cannot wait to tell this story later. It's going to be so cool to say I survived a pandemic in New York when I moved there the first time. I think that's an amazing. And plus, the cool thing about New York too is it's been through a lot. It's a resilient city. It's not like this is going to break it down whatsoever. It's really going to at least build it up. And I'm excited to be here to see when everybody comes together, because it's clear already that there's a huge connection, at the same time. So I'm
and whenever you see everyone with masks outside, it is a like, hey, we're looking out for each other.
Yeah. And that's what you want to see. Yeah.
I really haven't talked at all about how my work has changed and things like how has your work changed? How has your everyday changed? Are there more video games? For me, there's more video games. So I've been trying to do different things to like get me back into, a productive mode. How have you been working during this time?
I think the worst thing is that I haven't been able to have a trainer. I love working out, and it sucks that I have not had a trainer. Other than that, I am such a homebody. I am such like a graphic designer, like if I need something done, I'll just sit on my couch and make it.
Make it on mobile.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, and that's also been why I haven't started. I mean, I've done YouTube stuff, and that's why it's probably not as consistent, because I just love being able to just like not have to go out of my way to like do other things. So I think that has been nice. But at first I thought I was going to be kind of invincible to like the slowdown of work. Just because, we're influencers, and maybe, things will keep happening.
We know how to, stay resilient. Yeah. That's totally how I came into this too. I was like, we're lucky to have our jobs. What a special career this is. But then when you notice, especially for YouTubers, when a lot of your job is being in front of a camera and acting like you're happy, everything's fine. That's when it kind of hit me. When I started filming, my second and third video in, I was like, oh,
miserable.
How
much? How are you supposed to? And then people are gonna be like, I don't like this video. Your energy's off.
Smiling more. Where's that New York energy?
So I mean, I think that I truly think the best part about what's happened is that I've been able to focus on like my true purpose, like on my true intentions, my true goals, my like just not focusing on all the other stuff that everybody else is doing, but really just being like, okay, where do I see myself retiring? How do I see myself being happy? Who do I want to help? What is my like day-to-day supposed to collectively become? Because if I'm just aimless every day just trying to get shit done, and like trying to keep up with whatever, then there's no building being built, and so like I think that was the best thing about what happened is I literally sat myself down for an entire day and I said, okay, who do I see myself when I'm old? Visualize it, like literally write it down. Like, how do I want to help people? How much money do I want to have? What kind of house do I want? Like I wanted it to be really specific so that no matter what kind of questions came up, no matter if someone else was inspiring me or if I'm jealous or whatever, like, which is very normal and can throw me off my path. But like, if that comes up now, it's like, oh, I love that. But like, that's not what I need to do because it has nothing to do with like, I'm supposed to do, And it's helped my anxiety. It's helped my depression that can come up every now and then. It's helped me stay focused and not so stressed about the things that come up, because it's not purpose driven anymore. And then the things that do are purpose driven, and it feels good to feel like that. So if anything, this pandemic has taught me to just educate myself. I've learned 3D design, which is crazy. Oh,
the last thing that you posted was so cool, Elise. Holy crap.
Crazy, right?
I wish I'm
taking tons of tutorials. I'm in 3D for designers course right now. I'm like taking every class, every course, everything I can do.
I love the colors.
Thanks. I just need to figure out like what's going on with Instagram. I can't upload anything without it like turning to crap like in a second.
Well, let's talk about the evolution of Instagram, because in the culture the Instagram culture that you were kind of a part of that wave was the hashtag iPhoneography, hashtag JJ. You remember like the hashtag JJ and all that stuff? And are you on the recommended page? The featured page?
Yeah, I was one of those. Yeah.
So there's all this thing where they emphasize community. Mm-hmm. That's changed a little bit.
The community that they have supported, and sorry to interrupt you in your point, but like the community that they have right now are not the community they started with. And I really wish that they had supported the people who were there from the beginning than the celebrities and the other people who just hopped on because it was happening now, Well,
and what was unique about you guys, and you're still popping on Instagram, right? By no means go follow her. It's dope stuff. You. But that initial wave was really people going out of their way, making something that was meaningful. You would see a picture. Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. You would post to Instagram, and maybe it's nice that there's not as much pressure, because maybe people can just like, post whatever you want.
Right.
But in the beginning, it really was kind of a portfolio showing off, man, I'm going to go out and get the dopest picture I can get. And that's going to be my Instagram post. So it has definitely changed a ton. And there's all the meetups where you would like link up with your gram friends.
Meetups and me are weird because now I'm like, I think I'm too much of an OG a little bit, not to toot my own horn or anything, but when it starts getting like that, people want to like take pics with me and like, some of them they'll like post them and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know anyone and I don't want to like be a part of like this whole
a little bit of more of an introvert. Right?
I am. Yeah, I am. I always thought I was extroverted until I started realizing that my energy was like getting depleted by being around other people. And I love people. I really do think I am a people person, but like it's the energy of like just all of it. Sometimes
I'm like, super outgoing, but if I go to a conference, I will not see anyone for the next literally 3 to 4 weeks.
Same.
And this is the first time that I've actually been like craving other humans.
Same.
It's a very unique feeling, because my brother is like the complete opposite extrovert. Like he will die if he doesn't see another person every single day. So this has been a unique experience. After 3 months of just me and John, I was like, oh wait, I need to see other people. But I feel you on that energy thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has changed with the creative community. And I might be guilty of this, where in the beginning, when it's all fun and new, you do want to collaborate with people. You do want to hang out. You want to like learn new things. But then once you have your platform, you have your people, you kind of do go back into yourself. And like, and that's something that I've been honestly thinking about a lot lately, because I really haven't, the community thing has been lacking for the past couple of years, which I used to be a big part of, like help cultivating that.
Right.
But you get busy. Have you had those waves of, okay, you have followers, you have companies reaching out, you're busy?
I am since January 1st, maybe like January 6th specifically, I had this realization. I was like, I'm not doing what I want right now. I'm not happy. I am doing stuff, like I said, like just to get by and just to do it because I think I'm supposed to. And I like reached out to this girl who is, her name is Danye Taylor. She's really good in marketing. And she like did this this look at my Instagram, like I don't even know what the word is.
Like an audit?
Yeah, she did an audit for my Instagram. She's like, just ripped me to shreds, right? She's like, who are
That's
you?
intimidating.
Like, oh yeah, but I loved it. I was like, I wanted it. I needed it. I just wanted someone to tell me what is going on. Like, look at my stuff. Don't hype me up. Don't be a yes man. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. I want to hear like,
and this was recent in January?
Yeah. And so she gave me an audit and she's like, no one knows who you are. They don't know your story, you know, and the things that are the most successful on your page are things that people like are happy for you about. Like, you can share more of yourself and share like where you come from and blah, blah, blah. So I started doing that and, you know, things changed a lot, but I also felt like there wasn't a community aspect. I needed to do something else. So that's when I started my Swope shares, where like I would have like low-key photographers send me their pictures and I would edit them and like interview them and share their stories, you know, and just give them some limelight, and then also get their photo edited by me. Like, that's so dope. And I mean, it's been, I mean, Apple approached me about doing some stuff with it, which is huge for me. I mean, if that can keep growing and going, that means that I've, you know, added a little bit more. But then there's another aspect where like I just started a mentorship program, where I have 17 mentees. 15 of them are Black, by the way. So put on for my Black people. And we talk for 45 minutes once a month, and anything they want to talk about, like they're creative, they're professional, they're personal, whatever. And I've been doing that for like 5 months now. And it is, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna help everybody. They're helping me.
Wow. Like
helping me so much to just get outside of my comfort zone, you know, just listen and instead of being in a circle of different people, or a circle of the same people always, like in Chicago or whatever, like these people are from all over the world, like, and we can have a 45-minute phone call. We don't have a video or anything, and which makes it even more comfortable. We just talk about everything and anything for 45 straight minutes. And sometimes we're like, damn, we wish we could have more time to talk.
Yeah.
And that plus the Swope shares thing, I think has like filled me enough for the community that I think I was missing. I needed to do more, and I wasn't for a long time because I was so wrapped in myself, and I was also so wrapped up in trying to like keep up with all the other stuff. And now that I feel like I've conceptualized like this, that's where the community is, the very few people, you know, that like is more than, it means more to me than all the followers I have.
Well, it's quite literally putting a face to those numbers, and that's super powerful. I recently, and it's funny that you mentioned the, you know, when you're calling someone, it does seem super personal, but you don't have that pressure of video where you have to perform. There's this new thing where you can basically do like a radio show on YouTube live stream where it's just audio.
Dope.
And you can queue up people and they can ask you a question. And so you press next. The next person basically calls you.
That's so dope.
And you hear them and you're just talking to them. And it's like this live, it's really fun. And that's what now my Q&As are from on this podcast at the end. And it was so cool to hear the people who watch my videos. And it was kind of touching the same thing you were talking about. Oh, these are real humans with real problems. We're all trying to live our best creative life, and it's tough out there, and we can all help each other out. And it's, I know people say this all the time. It's not about the numbers, of course, but everything that you just described is quite literally an example of that, where when you're building something unique and you're building community, people notice that, but brands notice it. And they, at the end of the day, it's your work. It's the community that you've built. You know, if people are going to your page because of that, and they're seeing, you know, a good variety of stuff too. Like now you're posting so much cool stuff. It's still, it all fits. I don't know how you're doing it, how it like looks good on the feed, but it still like stands out individually.
It's because I'm doing what I love.
Yeah.
You know, when you do what you love, it looks like a theme.
Yeah. What are some of the other ways that you're trying to push your craft? Talk about this 3D stuff, Cinema 4D.
Cinema 4D, it feels like that excitement.
It looks intimidating in the beginning. I've opened that up before. I'm just like,
oh, it's terrifying when you open up. And then once you start clicking in, you're like, I could do this. It's like Photoshop and like, video editing. It's the same kind of tools and stuff. You just kind of got to figure out what they all mean. But I still have a long way to go. I mean, there was like people like sending me DMs. They're like, you messed up this thing. And I'm like, I don't even respond to you. Go away. You're like,
so lame.
It's so lame.
Especially when you're excited to share something new. So like you're really gonna slide into my DMs and knock me like that.
That's why I always put like hashtag like still learning, like whatever. Like you gotta like protect yourself from like people who cannot think any deeper than what they've been shown. Like that's sometimes you really have to like hold people's hand to be like, okay, this is what's happening. So don't be mean.
Don't be mean, people.
It's really that simple.
Be educated, don't be mean, don't be stupid. Yeah. I've seen a lot of stupid past few weeks.
Ooh, people have been canceling their lives. Everything's coming to light, isn't it?
Exposing people. I think that's what the internet is really great at. I think
Twitter.
As a civilization, as individuals, I think we've progressively gotten better.
We've built our own court system.
But now, now that we're shining the light on everything, it's like, okay, it's time to expose. It's time to learn. It's time to change things. Yeah. Time to be nice to people. Everyone.
To ourselves.
For ourselves. A lot of people are beating themselves up right now, me included, for not being productive, because that's hard. That's a lot of where we get our worth, right? And then oh wait, I'm not being productive, and that
and that's even in your like body and your cells. They're like so used to like doing so much, you know what I mean? Like, and even when you sit down, you're just kind of like, okay, now my blood is like moving so much. Like, what the fuck do I do? Like,
so I got that standing desk. Break down your process for me, because when I look at your pictures, and it's such a, can we just describe some of your work? Let's take these, because I have one of your how do you even describe, like, what do you call? I have a piece of your art hanging in my bedroom, and it's amazing. And it's something like this. How do you describe this for the people listening? Because this is mainly audio. How do you describe something like this?
It's about 5 different images together, and I probably used about 4 different apps. I just, when I feel like I like something, I just got to go all the way there. With that specifically, let me tell you about that image. So
this is a beautiful, it seems like a cityscape, but then there's clouds and there's a big moon and there's stars. I mean, these composites she does are just amazing.
Right. So images like that, unfortunately, I have to do. And I say unfortunately because people expect them from me.
Okay. And so I have this thing over here called one for me, one for them.
That's a one for them.
Okay, there we go.
That's a one for them.
All right.
There's a lot of one for thems.
And see, I just did the thing that you probably hate.
No, it's okay.
That's the first thing I went to, because I like it so much.
But that's why people like my work. That's what it is, Sometimes as your own creative, though, it's hard because you want to keep growing. You want to keep doing different things. But the reason why people came to you and they love what you do is for those things that that you maybe want to move past. And that's something I have struggled with, at least with this 3D design or my video work or like stuff. It's like people still be like, well, did you make it on your phone? I'm like, no, but like I still make other stuff on my phone. Like you can do everything. Because the
first place we met, make it on mobile. You're the make it on mobile person.
And I always will be. I always will be. And I'm doing an Adobe Live on Monday and Tuesday actually for Photoshop on iPad. And I gotta do iPad because they don't have Photoshop on there for the iPhone yet.
So like a composite like that. You have different images. Maybe you're using stock images. Maybe you're using pictures that you shoot yourself. What are those steps and what are the apps that you take if people, guys, again, I know I've said this, go to @Swopes, SWOPES on Instagram. And I think you're going to inspire a lot of people to maybe take a stab at this. So what are some of the steps you have to take? You have the images.
There's a few different routes you can take. Now, sometimes I'll go outside specifically if there's a cool looking day. I like stormy weather. I like fog. I like bad weather. Nothing too sunny, nothing too nice. No. Because it doesn't play off from my edits too much. Depends on what I want to do. But so I'll go outside. I'll shoot for a little bit, grab what I like, and then I'll come back home and I'll sit down and look through it. And I'll also look through my Instagram feed because I'll kind of feel out like, what haven't I done already? What can I do? What can I get better at? What have people asked me for? Sometimes people will be like, where's the giraffe? And I'm like, the giraffe. I got to do a giraffe. I know I got to do a giraffe.
Swopes giraffe. Yeah. The giraffe just got his own Instagram too, right?
It did. No, see, there's the illustration. Whatever I feel like doing, I
love it. I love people like you. You are just crushing the game.
Illustration is my first love. That was what I always loved to do. But you know, the photography and all that stuff. That's, you know, some days I feel like doing all photography. Some days I feel like doing all graphic design. Some days I'm doing all 3D. Sometimes I want to do video. Sometimes
that's what I love about this ish, that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. But some days I don't ever want to do photography again.
Interesting.
Like I love it, but I feel like there's people who should be someone else's favorite photographer. You know, like I feel like there are people who genuinely love it so much that like, and you don't call me your favorite photographer.
And you see their pictures and you're just like,
it's amazing. Like there's a love, there's a passion. But like when I take my pictures, like how I'm going to continue saying about my process, but like when I go out and I take my pictures, the photos they're all right. They're cool.
It's an ingredient to the thing you're cooking.
Right. And my photos naturally are probably not going to be the best ones, but I am a post processor. So when I get that photo on my phone, I'm going to like crop it out, edit out, move it around, do it, you know, get it to the place I want to get it. And that's where I'm like, that's not where my love is.
Yeah. Is the phone or the iPad or your laptop the first place that, do you bring them through Lightroom? Okay. Still phone.
Always phone. Amazing. Yeah. But depending on my time, I'll go to my computer and upload all the stuff. But sometimes I don't.
Yeah, straight to the phone.
Yeah. And all my photos will like stay on my camera for like months and months and months. I'm like,
and then you accidentally format that SD card. And I've done
sometimes I don't even care.
Yeah. Oh, is it good? It's like one of those things where you accidentally close out of your Chrome tab.
Yeah. You're like,
no. And then you're like, actually,
but I'm free now.
I can breathe. You know? Okay, so you bring it into your phone, you tweak it, you edit.
Tweak it a little bit, edit a little bit. It depends. I'll probably bring it into a few different apps. Bring it into Visco, bring it into Lightroom on an app, bring it into Art Studio, this app I have. And then there's a bunch of other apps that are very specific, like adding sunlight or doing a reflection or doing some kind of something, whatever it is, you know?
And those are specific apps. Like you don't do that in Photoshop?
Then hopefully, I mean, the thing is like I'm never 100% satisfied with like anything I post, because I'm like, I could just use one more edit or one more thing or something.
Perfect doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. So I mean, I think even when was it? When did I post? Oh, it was this one. It's like this is.
Wow, that's a good example. Just all the different types, different filters, different lighting.
Yeah. So I posted a screenshot of my photo album, and I mean, and that's not even just all of them. I had about 20 different edits that are slightly different than one another, and I'll never completely be satisfied. So I'm like, I could have did this, I could have did that, I just want to post it.
They're so cool though.
Thanks.
So using this, you know, you probably took the picture of the buildings, but that moon, where does that moon come from? That is
so I brought that into an app called Art Studio, and then I'll pull the moon from a stock image.
Okay.
So I think there's also, I mean, there's two images there. So one of them is a real moon, and the other one is like a gradient that I filled in. So I just like did a selection tool that was a circle and then filled it in.
And that stuff, can that be done in Art Studio or? Okay.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff you do completely in Art Studio. What are the ones that require Photoshop?
None. I do not use Photoshop.
Okay. How have you used the iPad Photoshop recently?
Yes.
It's lacking a few features.
It's good.
I look forward to how it's going to evolve.
Yeah, me too. I just want them to do it on the phone. When they get Photoshop for phone,
so you really are phone.
Yes.
Make it on mobile.
I swear. It's my comfort zone. People are like so surprised when they hear it. I cannot even edit on a desktop sometimes because it's so uncomfortable. I could edit video or do 3D on there or something else, but like I cannot do Photoshop on there.
I'm shocked just hearing that because I was
easier on my phone.
Really? I was thinking this entire time, like, oh, you've probably evolved your tool. So this was all on your phone.
Yeah, everything I do is on my phone, except for, like I said, the video or like the 3D design, everything.
What?
Yes.
So how do you do these selections and stuff?
I'm crazy.
Oh my, do you have a neck problem?
Does it look
I can imagine.
I'm saying, do I look? Not at all. Tell them. Do I look okay? Because I just need. I think I'm alright.
Like if I was, because a computer you can be kind of up.
No,
I can only because I'll be on my
shoulders
phone.
Are fucked.
Yeah,
sorry to curse. I don't know if that's, but like, okay. No, my shoulders. I mean, if you touch my shoulder now, you'd be like, I feel bad for you.
You need a masseuse.
I do.
Wow,
this is not a time to need.
That's very true. Yeah, that is so impressive. So even your giraffe composite.
I'm actually going to recreate that exact image on Adobe Live on Monday.
This podcast won't be out then, but check it out. Maybe I'll put the link.
It will be on my website. Okay. I'll put like the recap on my website. I always put them on.
You can check out the recap in the show notes below. Okay, these though.
All those are okay. So
she also does these really dope videos that are just. It's basically waterfalls on top of a city, through a city, through buildings. There's one where it just seems like the Empire State Building is below Niagara Falls. And it's just beautiful. Chicago, New York. Okay, these. How?
First, I have to like even find a waterfall that will fit in that perspective, because that's the hardest part, is like having to make sure that the waterfall looks like it's like the same vision, you know? So I have to like, I'll have like a picture on my phone of the city skyline, and then I'll keep going like kind of scrolling back and forth with my thumb between like Adobe stock on my Explorer, like, or my Safari browser, and then I'll have like the photo there so that I can kind of like
try to picture
visually I could picture the edit on top of it. So I'll do that first, and then I'll take it to an art studio and just cut it up.
The water, so you're saying that starts as a picture, not a video?
Yes, starts as a picture.
So how do you animate that?
That's with an app called, what is the app called? Let me see.
You're blowing my mind right now.
I do everything on the phone.
What?
I'm telling you, that's the future. I mean, that's why I'm trying to put on for the people. It's called Plotaverse.
Plotaverse? Wow. And it animates non-moving objects, basically.
Yes.
And then you just like slice and dice around the buildings?
Slice and dice them.
And I'm guessing, is that an art studio as well?
Yes, correct.
Wow.
When they put me on Make It on Mobile, I'm pretty sure I was the only person there that actually made stuff on mobile.
Right. You were like the poster child.
Literally.
For actually what they're talking about. Wow.
Literally.
So talk about this evolution of showing your face
There's
more.
Me and Kanye.
So what? How are you hanging out with Kanye?
That was a very interesting night. I got invited to this guy. He's a photographer named Jim Moore.
Okay.
And he's a GQ photographer. He was introducing a book that he had. And Ralph Lauren was having a party for it. And then they invited me to like an influencer dinner afterwards. I'm like, okay, it's just gonna be influencers, right? Like, it's not gonna be crazy. Like, I don't even think Jim Moore is gonna be there. Like, it's just people that are normally there. So I sit down, and it's like people I have no idea. I've never met any of these people. These are not influencers. These are like people. And then Kanye's not even sat down yet. Jim Moore's not even there, but the table's full. So I'm thinking, no more other people are coming. Eventually Kanye walks in with Jim Moore, and they're like talking back there, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna eat in here. Wow, this is crazy. But then two people move in front of me out of the seats. And I'm like, oh my God, he's about to sit here. And then he sits in front of me, and I'm like, oh my God, Kanye's sitting in front of me. But, at the same time, I'm thinking this is like still, the Trump stuff. This is still like, I'm still a little bit mad at him. I didn't really like his last album, I'll be real. I mean, I would say that to his face. I mean, I and I think, so I was real. I just kept like drinking. Like
one does.
And I was like, I had enough courage to like ask him so many questions. I was like asking him questions like about like God, and like I was asking him stuff about Trump, and I said something about Kim once, and it seemed like I like Kim, but I don't think he likes talking about her with other people. Very protective of her, but he was also really cool and understanding. Like, he wasn't abrasive, but he also said some crazy shit. So I was like, I don't know how to feel right now. You're like a legend,
what did he
but
say?
Like, you're also like, he said some stuff about like Bill Cosby, and like just stuff that like I just didn't agree with, you know. And but I also asked him, you know, about the Trump stuff. I was like, do you really like that guy? You know, are you just using him to try to get your stuff? And he's like, well, you know, I'm just trying to get some stuff done. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but that was the gist of it. And I remember asking him, I said, well, you know, kind of the same way Kim uses him to get people out of jail. And he was like, what did you say? And I was like, the same way Kim does. She does great things. And then he's like, I was like, oh shit, I don't think I should say anything anymore. And then there was also this time, I don't remember what I think it was very specific where I said, I asked him, I was like, well, who do you follow? And he's like, I follow God. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. I don't remember what the conversation, I think it was something around like just people and like opinions and stuff. And we were having deep conversations. Yeah. I wish I could like hit record, but I was at the same time, I was like, I'm really in tune with this. I really wanted to talk to him. It wasn't about no clout stuff. It wasn't about no, like, I wasn't trying to like be cool with like Kanye. Because at the same time, I was still upset with him. I still was just trying to get answers and to see who this guy really was. Yeah. And I left feeling like he's not as bad as people say he is. And it made me kind of feel bad that I've been so judgmental, but like I also think he needs to watch his words.
Well, a lot of things are amplified and distorted once you're that level of fame. I can only imagine how one side will amplify it for their side, the other will amplify it in the other direction of hate, you know, all of that. And I think it's super powerful to just have conversations with people. Yeah. And, you know, for you to be curious enough to not be like, what does this do? So, what? I'm leaving, you know? Yeah. But just, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's see if this will even work.
It's Kanye West.
It's Kanye.
It's Kanye West.
Yeah.
That's a Chicago legend. I'm from Chicago. Of course I'm going to sit here and ask him. Even if I hate the guy, I'm going to be like, man, it's Kanye West.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is unreal. Was he talking to everyone like at the table?
He was not. He was it was only me and Jim and his friend that was there because when I tell you, I was antagonizing him in a very positive, fun way. Yeah. I'm not a person who like tiptoes over stuff. I'm very like, let's get it out of the open. Let's talk about it. Yeah. You know, because I know everyone's thinking about it. And plus I had like a few, Prosecco's too.
I bet that was fun for him too.
Oh, he loved it. He was having a good time.
Instead of like, you know, you just like fawning over.
Well, at first he got there, you know, everyone was like very quiet and like he was just on his phone, you know, and I'm like, hi. And he's like, hi, Kanye West. Hi, Kanye West. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Don't have to introduce yourself.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that experience really just taught me a lot about celebrities, you know, not to be so hard on them.
Talk about Chicago and how that's played a role, like you as a human, you as a creative.
Chicago is a beautiful city. The architecture is just the best you'll find anywhere. You know,
it's beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
I've never been there. Can you believe that?
You'd love it.
Yeah,
you'd love it.
I love
in the
city.
summer. You'd really like it. Okay. In the spring too, or the fall. It's really nice.
Anything but the winter.
Winter's cool if you like.
I do not like wind.
Ice skating and like looking at trees with like lights on it and shit. I don't know. Other than that, there's really no purpose of being there. Yeah. Other than that, it's a great city visually, and you know it has a lot of internal growth. It has a lot of stuff it needs to figure out with just holding people accountable, and making sure that the right people get a voice, and making sure that you know, I think there needs to be a lot more energy towards education for the youth. I think there needs to be a lot more attention to what's going on with the violence and the politics. I mean, everything about Chicago has been built on problematic things. And so you've got to strip away a lot of that and restart. And I don't know when that restart is going to be, but I'd like to be there for that.
Yeah. And it seems like there's a good community of creatives, but a lot of times and Chicago seems like its own thing for sure. But whenever being from Dallas, and again, Dallas is nowhere close to like Chicago levels of coolness. Okay. So I'm not even going to try.
I'm sure it's great.
But when you're in a city like that and you kind of get the top, you're like, you you're the top of the top, right? But you're the top of the top in Dallas, and you think you're the shit. But then you realize, oh, there's a world outside of this. And there's actually a world of people. Like, what are people doing in LA, New York, London, like beyond? And then you're like, oh, wait, I'm not as big of a fish as I thought. You know, there's definitely some humbling.
Never heard of me plenty of places.
Right.
Even though I walk into a restaurant in Chicago and people will be like, oh my God, is that Swopes? I love your work, blah, blah. Like, that's not gonna happen. Maybe in New York, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey,
I like that.
And it's like a new challenge, right?
Right.
And to build that community and to, I mean, I think that's something that will come out of everything that we're going through is just, man, we need to work on this community a little bit more.
Yeah,
we're all busy. Yes,
like I think the issue is like, sorry to interrupt you, but like. No. I think the good ones are too quiet, you know? I feel like bad people are so loud. And I feel like the best people in Chicago are people who are so low key, who are just, you know, trying to stay above water and just try to do their best. And I think that's where the switch needs to happen, is giving to the people who deserve it instead of the people who are just yelling all the time about what they deserve. Show the work. Do some shit about it, you know? There needs to be a change. But you know, I think that's what I like about New York is like the action, the real work that speaks for itself. That's what speaks. You know, it's not.
If all you do is talk here, you're not going to last long.
Yeah, no talk. I don't like that. I don't like talk. I love actionable
LA stuff right there.
Oh yeah, me in LA. I don't know. I just want to get it. Everything's just spread out. So what are you gonna walk outside and be like
2 hours to go anywhere?
Anybody? Is anybody around? But you know, the people who like it. My manager just moved there, and he's thriving, and he's a music manager too. So he, you know, he's involved with a lot of the music stuff out there. But
certain industries, you kind of have to be there, right?
Yeah.
For someone who is continuously evolving, what's some advice you can give someone that says, hey, I admire the fact that you're stepping out and you're learning these different things, and oh my gosh, you posted something from Cinema 4D. I don't know if I could ever do that. What's some advice to people who just, they want to shake things up, but they're scared. They're on a certain flow. Their audience maybe knows what they expect of them.
I'd say think about who you want to be. Think about who you want to become, and if the things that you're doing now are making that person. You know, I think we all have this soul feeling that sometimes we might ignore just based off of, you know, our brains telling us what not to do. And sometimes our brains are wrong. You know, our brain is really just another muscle. It's another thing that's telling us and helping us problem solving. But like our souls at the end of the day is the real light. And when you sit down with yourself and kind of envision where that brightness comes from, where that happiness comes from, then that's where that 3D design comes from. That's where all those things comes from, because, you know, people can see that authenticity and they can see the love through it. And that's what brings you to that next level.
That's so good. What's something that you've learned from these mentees of yours? Seems like an experience in itself.
They're oh God, they're all over the place. Because they're just, some of them talk like for the whole 45 minutes and they never stop, and then some I gotta like pull a lot out of. So it's interesting. I think what I've really learned is that I'm a good listener, and that I need to listen more, and I need to I think I'm glad that I took a chance with it. And I trust myself more with it. You know, I trust myself with my ideas now. With the mentor thing, it was like my, you know, not to trash my management or anything, but they were like, you're not gonna have any time. You're not gonna be able to do that. You know, and I'm like, but I have to do it. I want to do it. It feels good to do it, and it's necessary. And like now the more that I've done it, they're like, damn, this is good. You're snapping. I'm so glad you did that. Like, glad, you know.
I think that's a good lesson for everyone. For people who have other people in their ears you're always going to know what's best for you.
You will.
And especially you got to evaluate who those people are. Are they creatives or are they managers?
Yeah.
Are they
That's
business
the difference.
types? And yes,
My managers are not creatives. I love them to death, but they're
good.
not creatives.
They're good at what they're doing.
Yes.
And literally at a fundamental level, everything is different.
Yeah.
Schedules are different.
Yeah.
We need blocks of time. We need a 4-hour chunk of time to even do something creative.
Yeah.
A manager schedule is broken up into 30-minute increments of phone calls. It's just different. Everything's different.
Yeah.
So you really have to evaluate, you know, the people who are telling you what to do or advising you. Just take it into account where they're coming from. Because just like you said, like, man, this has been awesome.
Yeah. I'm so glad. I could have like more mentees, but I need to.
It is a time thing. I mean, I can imagine how that.
Well, some days I block out from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Tuesday and Sunday for the calls. And like some days, like 5 people will like book the whole day, and I'll have like call, and I'm like, oh God.
Wow, that is
fun.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the energy thing, is like I'm exhausted by the end of the day because I've like given so much.
Wrapping things up, what are you excited about? What gets you up in the morning? What should we look towards the future with your stuff?
Everything. I mean, I'm the most unexpected person in the world. I can do anything I put my mind to, and you can expect that. What you can expect is unexpected.
Heck yes. Follow her on Instagram at Swopes. You just started a YouTube channel.
I did.
Which now that you're in New York, you can hit me up anytime. You can ask me whatever you need to ask. YouTube is a journey in itself. I'm sure you've already experienced that.
I don't know. I'm like, YouTube scares me, but I've only had like positive experience with it. I got my first like thumbs downs the other day, and I was like, damn. I have a weird feeling that it has to do with like me posting Black Lives Matter for some reason, and like
it's amazing
I turned my comments off. I know, it's weird. I don't know. So
and then they're just like following you to all platforms.
Yeah. So they just went there and they were like, I'm not gonna be able to comment on your post. I'm gonna I check my views and stuff on there every day, so I know what's going on, and I just could see the change. And I was like, all right.
Well, YouTube is it's really great platform for community, and like video is such an interesting field to be in because it takes forever, but it is rewarding once you finish something. But there is that aspect of the more you grow, the more people's eyes, the more holes that they're gonna poke, you know. So it's the whole thing. But hey, the good news is you're here now. Hit me up anytime.
Thanks.
We'll do some YouTube stuff. It'll be fun.
I would like if they would reveal who's doing the thumbs down.
If there was some accountability to it.
They should.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
They should be.
Yeah.
You got an opinion, you better be confident in it.
You would have to verify your username with like your real name,
that'd
you
be
know?
so good.
Because that's how Facebook started out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Juicy
I
goodness.
know. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah. Good time.
Thank you for being on. We'll figure out some type of YouTube video to do, because just sitting
Scootering around, hanging out.
Exactly. And then like
life.
when you were talking about, you know, doing all this on your phone, I'm like, maybe we should make an updated, make it on mobile video.
That's easy.
Show the people. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Amazing. Did I miss anywhere for people to find you? Anywhere else? Anything else to check out?
On everything.
Awesome.
My website's cool too.
Website? What's your website?
EliseSwopes.com or swopes.info or swop.es.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
I know.
That's creative.
Ooh.
Swopes.
I like URLs.
Just go to Swopes.
I think there's more other ones, but I don't remember them right now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Elise, thank you so much for being on. Make sure everyone you are subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find That Creative Life every single Monday. And until next time, y'all, thank you for listening.